The miracle of the crossing is that we didn't intend for any of this to happen. We got together to do one concert, and we thought this will be fun. We miss each other. We ought to get together and sing, and we got this wonderful audience. The press came, and we thought, well, that worked really well. Maybe we should do a second one. We find it just absolutely astounding, because I think we'd always been told, no, you have to program Brahms and you have to program Beethoven or no Mozart or whatever, and we'd always been told that, but kind of didn't believe that, and we thought, well, you know what? It doesn't matter whether we believe that or not. We want to sing new music, and we're going to do that, and hopefully somebody will come to listen to it. They don't really know who those people are going to be, because they're not household names by any means, and most of them are composers that have, you know, the ink is still wet.
Hearing this choir and knowing what they can do redefines what you think as a composer is possible. You know, it ups the level to a point where you feel like you're free to do almost anything you like. And that is, you know, the greatest gift a composer can really have, to feel that they're completely free to work inside the medium as much as great, as small, as large as they like.
So this year we had Levine Project, and we had 3 composers set either poems of Philip Levine or texts that were inspired by Philip Levine. And from that we kind of had the tone of the poetry that we were going to start from. And, you know, admittedly, a lot of that has to do with social issues and America and etc. And so we kind of, that was a sort of a stepping off point from which we made each of the other programs, built each of the other programs around that. When I was living in Wales, I discovered there one day, I don't remember why, that a recording of the city of Birmingham, a David Lang commission called The Passing Measures. I asked him if he would write a piece for us on a poem of Philip Levine, and he was reluctant to do that.
I had some concerns about it because I don't really like to set poetry.
And why is that?
Well, the first reason is because I really love poetry. And I feel like one of the things that poets do is they already take into consideration all the things that I add.
Once you shift into the vision, say, of men and women like that, like, say, Derudy or Debs, you find a kind of common thread there of people so devoted to a vision of a life uncorrupted.
There's something about it, something visceral about David's work that has an immediacy which can't really be denied. You know, he's not afraid to really go straight to the heart of the text and kind of pull out exactly what he feels about it. You know, he is not afraid to be on the surface of his own music, and I find that really quite amazing and quite powerful.
The music accentuated the text. It allowed the text itself to do the work, the choir, the singers to really almost show off, I would say.
So a piece like this, to me, is really all about the text, and something like this, that has to be approached very carefully.
I think the composer's done a really good job of declaiming the text in this insistent manner, the way it doesn't change keys forever.
I try not to delve in too much before. Like I really prefer to get the full picture with the whole choir instead of approach it kind of just letting it speak to me rather than trying to interpret something from the text.
Not a huge fan historically of classical music of any form really, but this was very interesting. Just some different forms, different ideas presented, different ways to present the material, and some of them really spoke to me.
I had the opportunity to hear a little bit of a rehearsal earlier this week, and what was really inspiring hearing it in performance today was that it seemed as if everybody, the performers, the listeners, the conductors, the instrumentalists, the singers, etc., came together to tell a story. So you can sing pitches at the right time, on the right note, in tune, play them in tune, etc. But if you're not saying anything, what's the point, really?
Our purpose is to sing meaningful pieces of music, or to make works of art that people respond to as they do to any other art. To create a space for them to experience their own emotions. You know, art doesn't necessarily inspire you to react to someone else's emotion. I mean, it actually more often allows you to turn in on yourself, to recognize in you emotions that you are either hearing or seeing in a play or whatever in yourself. You know, you recognize that in yourself, and it gives you a moment of kind of repose to reflect on that, where your daily life doesn't necessarily give you that moment, because first of all, we'd be walking around like zombies and crazy and crying and, you know, hugging each other all the time, which is probably not the best way to run a railroad, you know. But at the same time, those emotions motivate all the important things that happen in our lives. And so what we do is just sing honestly, or we try, you know, to sing honestly, and that's the only responsibility I have.